The man was the youngest doctor in the hospital, but every day during work, he would play on his phone. Even if the other doctors saw it, they would just pretend not to notice. And the reason the man was so special was because he was the best chief surgeon in the whole country. With his unique skill, the magic divine needle, any difficult illness could be easily cured by him. And just today, the man had just finished a surgery that none of the other doctors could handle. He simply used the magic divine needle and easily brought the patient back. He earned the praise of everyone, but the man did not take a rest. Instead, he immediately threw himself back into work. At that time, the little girl with leukemia he had just treated had to go for a checkup, so she handed her unfinished game to the man and told him to make sure she didn't lose the match. The man promised the girl, but unexpectedly, just as he took the phone, he was seen by Susan, the newly appointed hospital director. She was very angry. She immediately smashed the man's phone and accused him of slacking off during work hours. She refused to listen to his explanation and insisted on firing him. And Dr. Jack, standing nearby, saw this and felt very proud. Because he was very jealous of the man's talent, he had long wanted the man to leave the hospital, so he urged the man to leave right away. The surrounding doctors wanted to explain for the man, but as soon as they spoke, Jack interrupted them. He would never let Susan know the truth about the man's great medical skills. He even went so far as to slander that they had taken bribes from the man, and that was why they defended him. Susan became even angrier. She called them parasites of the hospital and bluntly said she didn't want to see them in the hospital tomorrow. Susan's attitude made the man very angry. He directly took off his coat and prepared to leave the hospital, but he still reminded Jack that the patient from the surgery just now had a risk of relapse. He told Jack to pay attention, but Jack only wanted to drive the man out of the hospital. He didn't care at all about his reminder. His arrogant attitude made the man so angry that he left the hospital immediately. Because she thought she had successfully expelled the hospital's parasite, Susan returned to her office feeling very proud. But just then, Anna, a shareholder of the hospital, called Susan and told her that the core doctors in the hospital's core team must never be fired. She also said that just now, one of these core doctors had saved her father, Tom, but Tom had forgotten the doctor's name. So she wanted Susan to properly reward the doctor who saved her father. Susan immediately agreed, saying she would promote him and give him a raise. After hanging up the phone, Susan immediately told her assistant to bring the doctor's files. That was when she discovered that the man who had just left the hospital was actually part of the core team. Susan then felt confused. Could it be that the man's medical skills were truly extraordinary? This discovery made Susan feel embarrassed. She didn't want to admit that she had made a mistake. But then she noticed that Jack was also in this core team. Thinking that the hospital's core doctor must have been the one who just saved Tom, she concluded that the core doctor Anna mentioned was Jack. Because just this morning, when she had just entered the hospital, she saw Jack coming out of the operating room. Jack told her that he was the chief surgeon of that operation. Therefore, Susan believed that as long as Jack was there, firing a lazy parasite would cause no problem at all. At that moment, a doctor rushed in anxiously and said that Tom's illness had relapsed. Only then did Susan begin to panic. Meanwhile, the man had packed his things and was preparing to leave, but he happened to notice an old man having an attack. Seeing that the situation was very critical, the man put down his things and immediately started treatment. But what he didn't notice was that Jack happened to pass by and saw this scene. In his heart, Jack became even more jealous of the man's talent. Then, he spotted the man's magic divine needle notes. He became very excited. He thought that as long as he could learn the man's secret skill, he could surpass him. So when the man wasn't paying attention, he stole the notebook. What he didn't expect was that just as he got the medical notes, the next second, Susan found him. She told him directly that Tom's illness had relapsed. She told him to perform the surgery, saying that only he could save Tom now, and she directly brought Tom to the operating room. Jack looked at Tom lying on the hospital bed and was very worried. He hadn't had time to learn the man's special technique, but he didn't want his lies to be exposed. So he planned to follow the man's treatment method from before to perform the surgery. Unexpectedly, the surgery actually succeeded. This made Jack feel even more proud. Meanwhile, after finishing treating the old man, the man was about to leave. But then he overheard the nurses talking and learned that Tom's illness had relapsed. The man became very anxious, because in the entire hospital, only he knew the magic divine needle. He hurried to the operating room and happened to run into Susan and Jack just coming out from the surgery. Susan scolded him, asking why he was still in the hospital. The man was anxious to save the patient and had no time to explain to Susan. He was about to leave. Unexpectedly, Susan blocked his way, and she told him that Tom had already been cured by Jack. The man did not believe it. He said this was absolutely impossible because in the entire hospital, only he knew the magic divine needle. And Jack had already told her that during the surgery in the morning, the man was only assisting him. The man found it even harder to believe. He was just about to speak when Jack interrupted him. Jack was afraid that his secret would be exposed by the man, so he slandered the man, saying it must have been the man who did something that caused Tom's sudden relapse. Otherwise, how would the man suddenly know that Tom had relapsed? He even said that the man was definitely jealous of him and accused the man of having no medical ethics, playing with the patient's life. Susan believed Jack. She became very angry. She called the security guards to throw the man out. She even said that any hospital that dared to hire the man in the future would be going against her. But unexpectedly, the next second, a beautiful female CEO came over and stopped Susan. She said she wanted to hire the man and even give the man half of her hospital's shares.